Hello, good afternoon. My name is Cathy Novicky, and today is Tuesday, June 6th, 2017, and it is day 12 of my 90-day Facebook Live challenge for Champions Over Cancer. It is a very gloomy, damp, rainy day, and this is the kind of day that sitting in a comfy chair next to a fireplace with a fire in it and a good book and a cup of tea sounds just about right. It would be good too. I think that would be a great day for me on this kind of day. But I had to find a topic to talk about today for my Facebook Live, and I struggled. I went round and round and round, and nothing was hitting me. Nothing really jumped at me to speak about. And I realized that this is how I get when something's bothering me. And so what I usually do, I'm very good at it, is that I bottle it up and put it away. I'm very, very good at that. But cancer really changed that for me. The way you get through it, the way I got through it, is you can do a couple of things. Either, excuse me, I have to get the cat. Either you hide in a closet in the dark so you don't have to deal with anything, or you get out there and you do whatever it takes to see tomorrow come. And you have to do that every single day. And what really saved me was blogging. I had never done it before, and I found that was my son in the shower, probably falling. I found sorry about that, phone call coming in. I found a site called Caring Bridge, and it is a nonprofit organization that allows someone with a terminal disease or a lethal disease to build their own web page and set it up and invite people to communicate back and forth with you. We have family in California, Colorado, Florida, and so they're all pretty far away. And so while I was going through acute therapy, I would get on the computer in the evening, and my family would laugh because it would take me like 2 hours to write something, and that was okay. And then my husband, unbeknownst to me, would go back after I went to bed and fix my grammar, which doesn't speak to my writing, and my English teachers from school would still frown. But anyway, it was interesting when I would reread it how it spoke to what I was feeling and how my thinking process, my mindset and the day. And I can remember one day in particular, I was researching a clinical trial that I thought I would participate in. And so I had an appointment to speak with the research person on this. It was a Monday. So I spent the day on Sunday researching this medication, and it sounded good. It was an anti-vascular medication, which meant that it shut off the blood flow to, or the thinking was that it shut off the blood flow to cancer cells. And I thought, that sounds pretty good. You know, cut off the blood flow, you cut off the, you know, the cancer cell's ability to reproduce and to grow bigger and to et cetera, et cetera. Well, as I was reading, I find through my research that the side effects from the medication were significant, and the length of time that they found that it gave people beyond what they, you know, would have lived per se, you know, was only, I think, about like 3 months. So I was like, oof, that doesn't sound good. So I keep researching, and then it so happens, coincidental, I don't know, you tell me, but it happens that the FDA, it was an experimental, it was a clinical trial, and on the news that night, the FDA had just stopped the clinical trials on this drug because of, you know, the risk. Anytime you have a medication in the medical world, there's always a risk-benefit analysis. You know, is the benefit of giving the drug, is it more than the risk of taking the medicine? Because that's how you have to look at many things in medicine. Because what, you know, anything that you give in the body, it's a risk. You know, there's risks to it. So now all of a sudden the FDA has taken this, you know, stopped this clinical trial. And this medication has been in the oncology community for a long time. It's used routinely for colon cancer. And I don't know how long afterwards, a friend of mine had some kind of eye issue, and he was having this medication injected into his eye. And I can remember him telling me what he was doing, and the name of the drug, it sounded really familiar, and I was like, it really haunted me for a bit, and I finally went and looked it up, and it was like, wait a minute, that's the medicine I was looking at as a clinical trial for breast cancer. Well, needless to say, my daughter, who was still in college at the time, called me and said, "You're not taking that clinical trial. Just say no. You're not going to do it, right?" And I was like, "No, I'm not." So that night I blogged, and I took, you know, usual amount of time. But when I read it back, I realized how stressful the day had been for me in researching the med. And maybe it was the discovery of what it did and what I thought it would do and what it didn't do, but what the whole experience told me was that, wow, you know, a lot for me, because when I would blog, I would just free text. I wouldn't, you know, I usually didn't have a purpose in mind, unless it was, you know, shouting out to people who had written to me, thanks for this and that, and I would just free text then. And it always amazed me when I looked back, even just a day later, or now 7 years later, it would amaze me what I was thinking and how eye-opening that could be. So it really saved my sanity. You know, everyone's definition of sanity is different, so I'm sure there will be some people who know me that will laugh and say, sanity, I don't know. But it was also very helpful in reaching out to people, to our families, when I was going through acute treatment. Because, you know, when you have someone that's ill and you want to call them, but you're like, oh, I don't know if they're sleeping, I don't want to wake them up, I don't want to bother them. And so this way people could, you know, they could communicate, they could let me know they were thinking about me, blah, 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 and I could write back, and I could, you know, I would tell people how my day was. You know, a lot of it got redundant because I was trying to do this, trying to do that, but, if you read the whole thing front to back. But just pieces of it became, they became a very important part of my life and of me going forward after that. As a cancer-free patient, I tried to take the lessons that I learned from blogging and from life and that experience to go forward. So today, being my 12th day and struggling to find a topic, I have come up with one, and it's about beating yourself up again, and how many times you have to do something before you realize, oh, that's it, and that you have to deal with it, and whether it's because you don't want to deal with it, or whether it's raining out, and oh, by the way, the title is just to catch your attention, but it all speaks to your mindset and how a rainy, damp day, how it makes me want to feel, sit in front of a fire with a book, or do you celebrate the fact that it's raining and you just go dance in it, and do you dance naked in the rain? I know people who housekeep naked. I won't tell you where they live though, but so it's all about mindset, and for me, when I go to work as a registered nurse, you have to develop the persona that you're trying to take care of patients, and you don't want to be Diane Doom type of thing. You want to try to lift them up and get them through things, and sometimes it's easy to find that mindset, and other times it's not. So it's it's not unusual when you're in your home and you're in your truest self, for me to admit that there are days that I find it difficult to come up with a topic, or to be thankful, or to be grateful for the rain, or to deal with an issue that's bothering me. So this little therapy here, when I'm talking to the phone, it's not talking back, thank God. But so just want to put that into perspective, because even being 7 years out, there are good days and there are not so good days. And it doesn't mean to say that they're going to continue, but being able to recognize them and deal with issues face forward and honestly is a lesson. And for me, it's a lesson that I have to constantly be reminded of, because just my personality, and the fact that I'm very good at tucking things into boxes and putting them away and not dealing with them, and over time, those boxes become very, very heavy, and something breaks. So lesson there, wear your back brace. But so I'm going to sign off and say that tomorrow will be a better day. I'm working. Tomorrow's Wednesday, and as I said, my lives will be at 2:30 on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So tomorrow's Wednesday, so you're just going to have to figure out when I'm going to be live and awake, hopefully. So I'm going to sign off and promise to try to be happier tomorrow, but happier for myself and not falsely happy. So I'm going to sign off and say I hope everyone has a good day, everyone's safe and healthy, and find what you're grateful for. Okay? Signing off. Peace.